We gotta get set. We're good to go. All right, let's start with Chris Nee right up front here.
Can you just reflect again on your decision to come here? I know you committed during the visit when it wrapped up, but what was it about this place that set it apart from possible other places for you?
Yeah, it was, just kind of, you walk around the building, you feel the culture of the building, you feel it's a winning culture. It's a bunch of guys that want to compete against each other, compete against themselves to get better, and also just like the family aspect that Coach Norvell and Coach Higgins and Coach Fuller brought. Just everywhere we went, it just felt like family, and they just treated me so well, and it just felt really genuine. And I've been here a couple weeks, and nothing about that's changed.
Jordan?
Grady, kind of following up on that, can you talk about, you're from the Panhandle, kind of how that influenced your decision?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, family's a huge part of my life. I'm extremely close with my family. I'm engaged, so my fiance's family lives right down in the Panhandle. Now my mom moved a little bit closer to Tampa, but I think just, I've already got to see my family since I've been down here, and I got to see them maybe twice a year back home. So I think just being closer to family and having that sense of being back at home was a huge part of my decision.
Essen?
Obviously, you mentioned family played a huge decision, but how much of the past success of FSU defensive linemen, coming here, transferring here, getting drafted, how much that played a factor as well for you when you look at FSU?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously I did my research, and Coach Higgins, he's put a lot of guys in the NFL. He's extremely well known. He's a great defensive line coach, and that definitely played a factor. Just knowing how he transforms guys' players and elevates guys' game. That played a huge decision, but it was really more about just who he was as a person that made me want to come here. He was a very loving, very straightforward, very honest guy, and I think that swayed my decision more than what he's done with players in the past.
Aslan, back right.
Grady, I don't know if you felt like maybe you deserved to play in a place like Florida State coming out of high school, but how much have you kind of grown? Can you look back and just kind of reflect on just how much you've grown as a player and how prepared you are for playing at this level?
Yeah, definitely. I coming out of high school, I think a lot of people who perform well in high school kind of have expectations of where they're going. I tried to never hold those on myself. Playing high school, I just kind of didn't know what I was going to get. I got blessed to go play at Colorado State. I was very fortunate and grateful for the people I met up there, my time up there, and my development. I think my development up there just, obviously prepared me. It got me bigger, stronger, faster. I get to recognize the game at a quicker speed. So to be able to go to Colorado State and perform like that and just kind of grow like that definitely prepared me a lot more than I was coming out of high school. And so, getting up here now, I'm excited because, I've seen college football, and I definitely think I can make an impact.
Corey, in the middle.
When's the big day? When's the big wedding day?
May 16th, we're getting married up in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh man, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So when you're playing at Colorado State, like you've been there 3 years, some of these guys that transferred in were only at their other schools for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really have maybe even a semester. But when you're there for 3 years, does that make it harder to leave? Or do you feel like, well, I gave you 3 years, I did well here for you guys, or does it make it harder because of the relationships in a place like Colorado State?
Yeah, definitely. It makes it hard to leave because of relationships, like the friendships and the bonds that I built with a lot of the coaches up there. It was definitely, it was hard to leave, but they were extremely supportive. My friends were extremely supportive of my decision. My defensive line coach left there, which played a big factor in why I originally got into the portal. But it's hard when you build those connections and relationships, and it feels like family, but that feeling of family, they support me in my decision and know that what I did, they believe was best for me too.
We'll go to Chris up front.
Two quick ones. Tour of duty, how has that been as a guy who's been in the college game? And secondly, your position, what do you expect your role to be, and where do you expect to fit in on the D-line?
Sure, yeah. The tour of duty, that's a beast of a workout, definitely. you know, I've had tough workouts in college football. They, you know, kind of push your mental a little bit, but I think that's up there with some of the hardest workouts I've ever done, and it puts you in a place where you really just have to find out what you're made out of, find out who you are on the inside, and kind of, you know, realize what you can do. It's one of those kind of workouts, and it definitely lives up to the hype of what everyone said it was.
Essen?
Obviously, everyone talks about when you go to Colorado, you have to deal with the elevation and all that. What is it like going backwards, and you know, just dealing with the heat over here compared to, like, you know, what the winters are, springs are like over there?
Yeah, definitely. The elevation up there, I'm not a fan of elevation, so coming back down here, I definitely can breathe better. But you know, it's 50 degrees outside. Guys are wearing long sleeves and hoodies and stuff like that, and I'm sweating and I'm dying walking places. I'm like wearing this, you know, shorts and a t-shirt, and it's so the heat's definitely going to be something to adjust to again. But you know, I think, just like with the elevation, it takes just a little bit of time to adjust to it, and it's not something that should play a huge factor.
Kurt, up front.
I know during your visit, you talked about getting to talk to Braden Fisk on the phone a little bit. I guess now that you're here, I don't know, I guess if you've talked to Braden again or not, but I guess what's it been like getting to know the rest of the guys you're going to be playing with along the defensive linemen especially?
Yeah, definitely. They seem like a great group of dudes that just, you know, they just love working. You know what I mean? I see them, you know, working and competing against each other in every drill that we do, but still, like, you know, you walk off the field after you're done competing against a guy that could potentially take your spot, and it's just, it's laughing, it's hanging out, it's, you know, I was talking with Josh, and he said, you know, the D-line gets together every weekend, and so it's, yeah, it's a great dynamic where they can compete extremely hard against each other, but still have this bond together that allows you to play, like, in cohesion on the field. So,
Aslan?
The sport as a whole right now, college football, Grady's going through a whole bunch of growth and change. You know, sometimes things like the transfer portal get a bad rap. I mean, for you, I guess, how thankful are you that you did go to Colorado State and give them 3 seasons and you worked hard and you gave everything you had, but then you had the opportunity to maybe play somewhere that gives you a better, you know, platform to show your skills and to be closer to your family. I guess, how cool is that in the grand scheme of things?
yeah, no, I think I'm very grateful for the transfer portal. You know, I think there's some people that could take advantage of it, but I think that's, you know, that's the headlines that a lot of people see. I think that's very far and few between. I think a lot of people just transfer because, you know, they want a better opportunity, they want a better shot. A lot of people like to get closer to home. So I'm extremely blessed for the opportunity that the portal provided for me, and yeah, I think it's extremely cool, and just I'm very happy with my decision.
Anything else for Grady? Corey?
Yeah, going back to what Chris asked, what have the coaches said about where they think you're gonna play? Will you be more of a, like, in the Braden Fisk role? Like, what did they tell you during the portal process?
Yeah, they just kind of, you know, spoke about just kind of the bond that the defensive line has and the ability to rotate on the defensive line, and they talked, you know, just there's a lot of guys on the defensive line that compete, and that they see that competition and that drive and that level of talent in me. But it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be competition. There's great guys here that you gotta play with and play against, you know, to compete. But yeah, we didn't get into the weeds too much of that, but it was just, you know, they were very reassuring to me that they thought that I was a good player and that I could compete with these guys, and that's what I just plan to do, just come in and just compete.
Aslan?
I'm sure every time you played a game of football, whether it was Pee Wee or, you know, playing Colorado State, the goal is to win every single game. The goal here is to win a national championship. I don't know, does that feel real? Do you have to prepare yourself mentally for that, or is it just an exciting thing to know that that's the goal and the standard?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think there's definitely, you know, at Colorado State, I think, you know, we didn't have the winning record. We weren't necessarily competing for a national championship, but I think we practiced and prepared over there like we were. It's definitely, there's a lot of excitement around knowing, like, this is what I'm training for every single day. I'm training to go all the way and win a national championship. And I think, mentally there might be a little preparing that I need to do for that, but I think for the most part, physically, just in how I train and everything like that, how I recover, take care of my body, eat and all that stuff, I since I've been in college, I've been preparing for this role, so yeah.
Aslan?
In terms of the strength and training program here, what are your initial kind of perceptions and thoughts of Coach Storms, and what's sort of the plan they've laid out for you, or how much input do you get to put in terms of where you want your body to be and where you want your numbers to be at?
Yeah, I think me and the coaches saw very eye to eye on where we want my body. A little bit more weight on clean muscle, and I think that Coach Storms and the staff is 100% gonna be able to do that. You see what they've done with some of these other guys that are here, and it's just they can definitely do that. And in the trainings and the workouts and the running and everything that we've already went through, there's a level of there's going to be power and there's going to be size put on, but there's still going to be that quick twitch. And so yeah, I definitely think I couldn't speak highly enough about the strength staff.
Okay.